What's something you learned embarrassingly late in life? When I was a teenager, I posted a status online that said I was jacking off. I thought that meant you were just bored and wasting time until my older sister messaged me, horrified. When I was a teenager, I thought the expression to eat someone out meant the same thing as to chew someone out. Unfortunately, I was educated on this after I told someone in a church that I wasn't expecting to be eaten out that morning at breakfast. I was 17 Lamau. My father still says this. He's in his 80s, and at this point there's no stopping him. 81-year-old dad does too. I ate his ass out like no tomorrow. That a prostitute doesn't actually sell a piece of their body. Backstory, my mom and I were watching the scene from Titanic where Jack tells Rose that he painted a one-legged prostitute. I asked my mom what a prostitute was and she told me it's someone who sells their body for money. I could not fathom why someone would sell their leg for like $30. Lol, that was just a perfect confluence of unrelated information to confuse you. It was a completely logical connection to make. When we were kids, our parents explained it as someone that you pay and they'll do whatever you want, and it seemed like a variety of handyman. Handyman, this could be an accurate description too in some cases. I was like, 22? Working at a restaurant making myself a salad, and I asked the chef for bumps and he stared at me for like 60 solid seconds trying to figure out what I wanted. I explained to him I wanted bumps for my salad. I have all the rest of the toppings but now needed bumps. Guys, my family told me croutons were called bumps my entire life. I called my dad that night and confirmed that bumps are indeed, actually called croutons. Edit, first of all, thank you for the awards. Secondly, people keep asking, why did my family call them bumps? Well, someone in my family had a speech problem as a kid, couldn't say croutons, and they became bumps. We had other funny names for stuff, but I knew what the real words were. I just never got around to learning croutons, I guess. He thought you were asking for Coke, dude. That is also where I learned bump means a bump of Coke. I was sort of sheltered before working in a restaurant, lol. Don't worry, it's still a somewhat reasonable request from a line cook. It's in the name. I live near the hospital for joint diseases. When I was a kid I thought it was a special hospital for people who had two different diseases at the same time. I thought Mick Jagger's name was Majagger, and people just never said his first name for some reason. Yeah. Can I order a Majagger meal, large? This is something my little sister did through high school. We're about 8 years apart, so we never overlapped in school. She's always been a straight A student, and I found out she worked extra hard because she wanted to catch up to me in school. So we could be in school at the same time. I almost cried. Edit, thanks for all the awards. Never had any of those before. You've made a girl with the flu feel a little better today. And for those of you who asked, yes. My sister not only caught up, but surpassed me. She's a beautiful young woman who graduated with high honors in psychology and is going on to complete a master's degree. My little brother had a meltdown at the age of 4, when I informed him that he would never be older than me. Edited for clarity. You're going to be so embarrassed when he tricks you into boarding a spaceship traveling near the speed of light while he remains stationary. I learned that pork and beans are not called cowboy beans. I was 18 and asked a grocery store clerk to help me find the cowboy beans. We were looking everywhere and I was getting frustrated because I know that every store carries these beans. After a while I pick up a pork and beans can with a picture and say, see, it looks just like this. He says, you mean pork and beans? Then I realized that my mom called them that so that I would eat them. The look of disappointment from that grocery store clerk haunts me to this day. Dude, that's ducking hilarious. Yes, hello, I'm looking for the big boy broccoli. This is just regular broccoli. Now just where in the hell do y'all keep the dinosaur trees? My sister was in her 50s when she found out the meaning of, you have an addictive personality. She thought after all these years of therapy that it meant that people were addicted to her personality. We laugh hysterically when we talk about this, in a very sad way. My dad was fond of framing questions to my brother and or me regarding just what on earth we were doing, up to age 10 or so, when it no longer seemed necessary, using the term pray tell, as in what are you doing with the tools, pray tell. I presumed a prattle was a gentle equivalent to goofball or dummy. One day I corrected my brother about some misconception he had, addressing him as you prattle. What did you call him? Asked Dad, who happened to be nearby. A prattle. You call us that all the time. I do? Yeah, you say what is that supposed to be, prattle? I'd never seen him laugh through a facepalm before. Knowledge is power, Francis Bacon. Everyone needs to read the story they're referring to. It's incredible. Edit, link isn't working for some people, so here's the original comment. Edit, linking to a funny comment got more upvotes than the comment itself. Huh. That you don't have to stand in the shower while the water warms up. A previous thread like this years ago, someone said they didn't know you were supposed to move the towel to dry off. Since on TV they just wrap it around them and walk around. They didn't like taking showers because it took almost an hour to dry after. Oh man, how do you not realize that? Have they never dried anything? Dishes? Wiped up spills? Wiped their brow? I'd hate to see how they don't use toilet paper. Edit, I wish I'd never made this comment. Y'all have followed up with hilarious but disgusting things. Just stuff it up there and go about your day. Your natural movements walking around will take care of everything. I thought that horses had toes until I was 22. I thought the hoof was a horseshoe and the toes were tucked inside. How did I learn how wrong I was, you ask? I was walking past a cavalry museum and saw a horse statue and loudly remarked it must hurt so bad when they fold a horse's toes to put them into the shoe. Dozens of horse enthusiasts turned and looked at me with wild bewilderment in their eyes. You don't have to rip the plastic top off of your new deodorant with your teeth or pliers or anything. You can just turn the base until it comes up enough to just take it off. Oh my God. I should return this master's degree to the university. First time somebody's master's degree has directly made me feel better about myself. When I was in college, 2122 years old, I was getting ready to go out and it hit me like a lightning bolt. If you just thread the small end of the belt through your belt loops all the way around, literally any belt can fit your pants. Because up until then, I thought sometimes I just had belt loops that were too small for certain belt buckles. I ran out to my friends and was like, guys, check this out. As I proceeded to demonstrate for them what I had just learned. I genuinely thought they'd be excited for me. It was then I learned that everyone else on earth knew the right way to wear a belt except my dumbass. Unbelievable how many times up until then I spent trying to jam the buckle side in first and coming to the conclusion I just needed bigger belt loops. Edit, thank you for the awards and the hilarious comments. Unfortunately, this is a true story and I have no good excuse for why this dumb thing took me so long to figure out except to say I'm a woman and guess I didn't wear pants with belts that often. Believe it or not, I graduated from college and lead a pretty successful and fulfilling life. We all do stupid stuff and I'm glad this story of my stupid thing made so many of you laugh. Nah, you were right the first time. This is why pro wrestlers carry their belts and have no pants. I'm from Mississippi and until I was 18 I thought that everyone else in the country counted with their own state. Instead of 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi they would count 1 Nevada, 2 Nevada, or 1 Maryland, 2 Maryland etc. If you're from Transylvania then it's 1 2 and so on. That bonsai are not a species of tree, but a way to grow them. Any tree can be a bonsai. I didn't know that. There was recently a picture of an apple bonsai with 1 full-grown apple attached. Here's one if you want to see it. I thought that prima donna was prima donna and that it meant everything before the singer Madonna and just assumed she was some kind of universal queen. I also thought it was prima donna, but I thought it just meant that the person was starting to behave like Madonna. Like they're prima donna now and will eventually go full Madonna. Yeah. Madonna was very popular when I was young so I thought it meant they were going to grow into someone like Madonna.